welcome back, everyone. After a bit of extended delay,
Thank you for
our
your
sincerest
patience.
apologies. We got caught up at the border with a bit of a traffic jam and an unfortunate series of events. But life happens, and we got delayed, so we do apologize. But super happy to be back, and super happy with everyone who's staying posted. Kind of fill you in, we'll be releasing some separate segments. We're going to refer to them as the audition tapes.
The audition tapes.
Taking sort of signature scenes from some of the movies we've done and reading the lines as best we can. And just for a little laugh, a little additional entertainment. So stay tuned for that.
And kind of keep you entertained.
Keep you immersed
in exactly.
Keep you up to date with those guys.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So far we have the diner scene from Heat recorded.
Yeah, and that's going to be up soon.
We have a couple more ideas on the way. That being said, today we bring you Sicario. It seemed like a good snapback to modern day movies.
Yes.
That seems to be the pattern so far. That I don't know if we've intentionally or unintentionally picked up, but kind of jumping from old classics to current classics. And Sicario is a banger. One of my favorite movies ever.
So good.
Yeah. Came out in 2015, so
October 2nd.
About 11 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
Comes in at a runtime of 2 hours and 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Directed by, I believe his first name is pronounced Denis.
I don't know.
Villeneuve.
Yeah, you're good with that, I think.
Either way, he's like top-notch director. I should know how to pronounce his name, but either way, if I'm getting it wrong, I apologize.
Yeah, he can reach out to us.
Huge fan of your work, Denis. Movies like Dune 1 and 2. He's got the next one on the way there. Is it referred to as Messiah or Dune Part 3?
It could be both. Like
I can't
Part
remember
3
from the trailer.
Messiah or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Either way, it looks like a banger. It's probably one we'll probably do a Dune movie at some
big
point.
Time, yeah.
Blade Runner 2049. He did Arrival. He did Prisoners. Another one of my favorites, and could very well wind up on the podcast as well. Written by Taylor Sheridan. He's responsible for projects such as the sequel, Sicario, Day of the Soldado, Wind River, Hell or High Water. I believe he has association to like shows like Yellowstone and stuff like that. So
and probably the third Sicario coming out. Yeah,
is that officially confirmed?
It kind of seems that way.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I don't know if I've. Social media has indicated, but can't be trusted all the time.
No.
About as much as Matt Graver in this this movie. Cast is there's a few names, but the top three here and the pillars, you could say. Emily Blunt is Kate Macer.
Yep.
Hell of a performance by her. Super cool protagonist, very capable, but at the same time very much kept in the dark.
Yeah, and just shows.
Really good actress.
Yeah,
I like her a lot. She's attached to projects or has been in projects like Edge of Tomorrow, Quiet Place 1 and 2, Smash Machine, Oppenheimer. I thought she was deadly in Oppenheimer.
I haven't seen that yet, but
super. And countless others. Like those are just to rattle off a few. Favorite actor of mine, Josh Brolin. He plays Matt Graver. He's in one of my favorite movies, No Country for Old Men.
I remember.
He was in the Avengers movies as Thanos. He was in the Goonies.
That's right.
One of his very first projects, I think, if not his very first. He was also in the Dune movies, again being directed by Denis Villeneuve. So you could almost imagine that. Who knows? Maybe this movie was
how we brought
him back into Dune.
Absolutely.
Either way, very talented actor. I like him a lot. I like him a lot in this movie. He brings a sort of casual amusement, I guess, to a very serious topic.
Yeah, like some dark comedy.
Yeah, he's dealing with some pretty heavy stuff, and as a guy who's sort of like directly responsible with, like, it seems like he's kind of managing a lot of different things. Like, again, this isn't too dissimilar to like Training Day.
No, that is true, yeah.
You have your protagonist, like Kate Macer, who would be very much like a Jake Hoyt, who's like new to the task force.
And they were saying she's like a rookie.
Yeah, relatively new, but either way, she's like a sharp officer or a go-getter. And Josh Brolin, or Matt Graver, is kind of running the show and keeping her in the dark, and he kind of has his own agenda here, and but simultaneously he appears very at ease and calm with everything that's going on, like almost like another can't lose mentality, and whether that comes from the fact that he's appointed very high up the government chain, and whatever the case, right? Or maybe it's all a front, just because he kind of drops it at the very end. We'll get into that when we get there, but for a second, that whole possibly a facade drops, and it kind of gets real dead serious at the end. But anyway, and then another heavy hitter, Benicio del Toro as Alejandro.
Alejandro Gillick.
You could almost make an argument for like also the protagonist in a way, but a much more behind the scenes. Like he has his own story.
He definitely does.
Possibly even more backstory than Kate has. Like
100%.
And it's not forefront, it's alluded to, and it's not until the very end you
really understand.
They widen the lens and you get the whole picture. And apparently in the original script, Alejandro had like
90 minutes or something.
Not 90 minutes. They threw 90% of 90%, there. I think I saw, where it was like they cut 90% of his lines just to rely on physical performance and sort of increase that mystique around the character, and so those lines got mostly offhanded to Matt Graver or Josh Brolin there. I think it really pays off for the movie because Alejandro is a very curiosity-invoking type of character.
Very mysterious.
From the get-go. Like, he's got the nightmares. He's repeatedly questioned, and he does not have a problem giving, like, a screw you kind of answer.
Exactly.
Just like, oh, like, where do you work? He's like, well, I work where I get sent,
Yeah, and just because of how things play out, initially you feel like you can't trust them because of Emily Blunt's character, but again, towards the end, you figure things out. And
But he is also, like, he's on his own mission.
Yes,
big time. A few things happen that show, like, I don't know if I would go as far as say as Alejandro is a good guy. I mean, like, I get what he's doing, but at the same time, it's pretty clear that his moral compass has been smashed to pieces. And
you see that specifically at the end.
And
then we'll talk about that. But
we'll get into all that. Either way, killer performances by all the top three. Del Toro, he's been in movies like Usual Suspects, One Battle After Another, very recently. I haven't seen that yet, but I would like to, but he looks quite hilarious in it. Killer cast, killer director, really good writer. I don't recall who the cinematographer was, but this movie is shot very, very well.
Yes.
Very beautifully. I had a hard time picking. We're kind of introducing another new segment at the end, so we had like our favorite quote, favorite scene. We're going to include our favorite like cinematic shot as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like, I guess, the most visually appealing, you would say, right? It was very hard to pick one, but
I think there's definitely some around like that border scene, but also at the end.
Even the score is unreal too. It's simple, but
it's very simple, but it creates tension.
It's no wonder it got brought back for the second one.
Big time.
Forefront. Very basic synopsis again, because this has been out since 2015. So are we gonna care about spoilers? Like,
no, not really. Like, I mean, I don't know if like it just follows an FBI agent who was enlisted by a government task force to bring down a leader of a powerful and brutal drug cartel.
That's a good synopsis without spoiling anything. And so a few fun facts in my before getting into the movie here and kind of breaking down everything that's happening. For me, the pinnacle of the movie is the border scene. I think that's kind of where it, like, it's a one of those master classes in suspense. Again, the cinematography is very good. Apparently, the crew had a full-scale replica of the Juarez border built to make sure this scene was authentic as possible. Took quite a bit of time for them to build it and create that sort of claustrophobic traffic environment. But it pays off big time.
Big time.
Like, totally worth it. Like, I think, not to jump ahead, but will probably be my favorite scene.
Same here.
That was a cool move. Cool scene.
That's the one scene that you can remember about Sicario, really.
Yeah. If there was, or if you want to sell someone on
right,
it, right?
Yeah.
You're just like,
scene.
like, check out Sicario, and
Yeah.
like, you don't want to spoil it. You're like, okay, just watch this, and then tune in for the rest of it, and I think
big time.
Yeah, large success. The score that we were referring to earlier, which is referred to, the main one being referred to as the Beast, which refers to as Juarez. That's like the nickname for it.
Yeah.
Heavily inspired by the Jaws theme.
Yep.
Very minimal, but threat-provoking or implying imminent threat.
Mm-hmm. Always building tension, you know?
Yeah. Emily Blunt was specifically requested by the director for the lead role.
Primarily shot in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and El Paso because it was deemed Juarez was too dangerous.
I could see.
Makes sense, yeah.
I don't know a lot of movies that have been like filmed in the heart of Mexico.
No.
Like I know Man on Fire was, which
different time.
That would be a cool movie.
Yeah.
Get Denzel back on here.
Oh yeah.
Those few facts around it. I saw Josh Brolin. He initially declined the role, but I guess was reached out to directly, emailed, and
he was just finishing up another movie or something at the time, I think.
Yeah, I can't.
Or some project, can't remember the name.
Yeah. Either way, Thankfully, he was in it because he kills it.
Yeah.
And, to get to the movie there. Starts very quickly. Again, like I think it was the last movie where we were talking about, the first little bit of a movie introduced, like your audience is very receptive.
Yeah.
This covers a lot of ground in the opening scene. Starts in Chandler, Arizona. The FBI is conducting a raid on what turns out to be a cartel house. It sounds like they're trying to save some hostages.
Yeah.
Someone references that they're looking for hostages, and just the way they storm the house, like going through it very quickly, is the FBI SWAT guys are sort of sacrificing safety for a higher paced thing to get the hostages sooner, right? So it kind of explains why the truck blows through the wall and they're moving through the house as quickly as possible, right? It introduces Kate as a very capable protagonist. She's, TL, team lead.
Yep.
She gets into a gunfight with one of the cartel members there.
She almost gets shot.
Yeah, and after that, they get introduced to sort of what seems to be their first exposure to the cartel.
Yeah.
And that's sort of implied with, like, the news reel that gets played immediately after, so... They find the bodies in the drywall.
Yep.
They're all wrapped up in plastic. They don't necessarily think it's the hostages.
No.
But, nonetheless, like, super heavy. They haven't seen that before. And then as they're processing the whole scene going through it, bomb goes off in the shed, which I forget what the number is, but apparently kills a few officers and then injures
there's like 2 or 3 around there,
Yeah, so... from what it seems for the FBI, that's their first real exposure to the cartel, and it doesn't seem like they were really aware that they had made it that far inland yet, or inland yet. So that's the introduction, introducing the audience to, like, okay, even though they're not directly showing the cartel necessarily, their presence is very heavily felt throughout the whole movie, between the bodies, the bomb.
And then just even after like that first scene, it goes back to show Kate, like she's showering, like getting the blood off of her, patching herself up, but it equally shows that she's traumatized from it all.
Very human protagonist. Yes. She's not like oorah or anything.
No, exactly. It's just
like she's
relatable,
rattled,
I guess you can say,
And then it's back to work.
Exactly,
Matt Graver's introduced shortly later because he obviously plays a very critical and heavy role in this movie and sort of moving the plot forward, I guess you would say. He's introduced as a shot caller, so he's in this boardroom of seeming, you can tell they're all the higher ups, or at least within the FBI, right? He's dressed very casually.
Well, they're all in suits. He's casual.
Button up shirt. I can't remember if he has shorts or khakis on. He's got
the
probably
khakis
on.
And the flip flops or Crocs.
He's interrupting the other guys there when they're kind of asking her quiet, like, "Oh, you have a husband, kids, anything like that." And whether that's him gauging how easy to manipulate she will be, or if he's maybe assessing risk for like, okay, is this stuff the cartel is going to go after if they know she's in what, right?
Yeah, but probably both, yeah.
Yeah, so with her being divorced and no kids, probably puts her on the lower risk side. Simultaneously, probably implies she's very much dedicated to her work. She's like a Vincent Hanna type character, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, a little bit of storytelling there. He recruits her for this joint task force. Initially, he's introduced as being DOD, which stands for Department of Defense. So, recruits her to this joint task force team. Allegedly because of her tactical experience, because she's a team leader in hostage rescue. So that's what's interesting. Like, hey, we need you because we want a tactical element on this thing. And she, again, all of her questions, like, hey, what are we doing here? What's the... And she's never given a straight answer through the whole movie.
No.
Every time she kind of gets fed up with the nonsense, she's like, what the hell, guys?
Yeah,
you know?
and they give her just enough to kind of stay.
Exactly, right? Or they dangle like like, stay here kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a bluff because you realize how important she is to the whole operation by the end of it and why they need to keep her around. But yeah, again, sort of a masterclass in manipulation, I guess, by Graver.
Big time.
And, he's like, okay, stay here. What's the point of this mission? And he's like to dramatically react. And, are we going after the people who are responsible? And then he goes like the people who are really responsible for again, never directly answers any of her questions.
Which is like, I don't know if I should mention what the actual objective is right now, or save that until like when we get to it when it's revealed at the end of the movie.
Yeah. Kate very early on is isolated from her partner and the rest of the FBI right at the arrival at the airbase, right?
Yeah.
Her partner drives her up and they go...
Yeah, you're not allowed. You're not on the list.
You don't have clearance.
Yeah.
She needs to go there herself, and he's kind of like WTF. And like a little bit of foreshadowing, he says, keep an eye on the prick with the flip-flops. Like, I don't trust him.
Yeah.
Turns out to be right. And then funnily enough, when they return from Juarez... he's allowed on base because they need a ride.
Yeah.
So he goes, oh, now that you need a ride, like I'm allowed on base.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They're just like, just get in the car, right?
Yeah.
So, kind of interesting. So yeah, even then she's lied to in the boardroom, which you can tell some of the senior members are aware that she's being lied to because he goes like, oh, we're going to El Paso, Texas, and the board member kind of like looking, he's like, that's not exactly correct and whatnot, but so they take Kate to Juarez, Mexico, instead of El Paso, Texas. Before they arrive on the airbase, we're introduced to Alejandro.
Oh, yep. And she gets her first taste of
very
him.
Compelling character. Doesn't say a whole lot.
No, mysterious.
Yeah, very good performance though by Benicio. And, he has the nightmare there. She's trying to ask him what his specialty is. Like, oh, so you work with the Mexico cartel? Like, what should I know? And he goes, well, like, you're asking me how a clock works. He's like, for now, let's just keep an eye on the time. It's like, what does that even mean? Like, that doesn't help me at all.
No.
So.
Oh my god! I'm trying to think. Does he? Is it revealed to her that one quote essentially saying like he just goes where the work, like whoever hires him.
Essentially, yeah. So,
and she's like kind of like a hired an assassin. Really.
Yeah. So if we jump to the end, which might be easier to sort of explain this story as we go, because like on the first watch through, you genuinely don't have a clue like who is who.
Yeah. What
they're there for. You get bits and pieces of what they're working towards, but the total end game is not revealed until the final little bit. So Alejandro is. From what is explained in the movie, by the end, a former lawyer.
He was like someone tax inspector and prosecutor in Juarez until his family was...
Who once upon a time had a wife and daughter who were killed by the Mexican cartel at the hands of the leader Alacon.
Yeah, Fausto Alacon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's a Sonora cartel.
Yeah. Senior member, calls a lot of shots.
Yeah.
He was responsible for that death.
His wife was decapitated, it said, and his daughter placed in a vat of acid. Yeah.
Pretty graphic.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy. And so, yeah. I guess initially there were plans of, Alejandro having a lot of exposition and possibly even a flashback.
Yeah.
Which I think it works out better in this way. Just
all cut out.
Mysterious guy, and Matt Graver's referring to. He's like, oh, he's a DoD specialist. She's like, shut the hell. Like,
I know. There's something off about this guy.
Like, he literally just told me he works out of Columbia. He's like, well, fine, stay here. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's Kate's curiosity sort of keeps her in it, and she does ultimately have a drive to go after the people responsible for wrongdoings, right? Which kind of keeps her in it and almost makes her easy to manipulate, I guess, right?
For sure.
So their overall game plan, they're going into Juarez to collect Guillermo Diaz from a Mexican courthouse. He's in custody for whatever. So I guess we should also say it's revealed that Matt Graver is CIA.
Yes.
Yeah, turns out he's CIA. So he links up with U.S. Marshals and Delta Force to go into Mexico to collect Guillermo Diaz because they want his brother.
Yes.
His brother's name is
Manuel, who's the
Diaz, who works very closely underneath Alarcón.
Yeah, he's like a lieutenant of some kind.
So what they're essentially trying to do is shake the nest, rattle the cage enough that Manuel Diaz, who is currently positioned in America, working for the cartel, so that he gets called back into Mexico and they can follow him and find Alarcón because they don't know where he is at all. So that's overall the plan that's revealed by the end. Is the audience who's seen this all transpire through the eyes of the protagonist, Kate, aware of like any of this? No. There's little tidbits, and if you watch it back a second time, you can see all the hints and clues, and you have a better understanding. But first time around, you're very much in the dark, and you don't really know.
Yeah, you don't know
what's going on. At times, they get like, we're looking for a tunnel because we want to disrupt drug activity. Good guy stuff. Law enforcement. But they're never like, we're sending Alejandro into Mexico to go kill Alarcón. And also because we're trying to maintain control of the drug trade across the border. We're not trying to eliminate the cartel.
No, and I think there was some point about essentially taking the Sonora cartel out, forcing a competing cartel, the Medellin cartel, in.
It's a interesting moral question, I guess, of like necessary evil, because Matt Graver at the end, he says, until we can find a way to convince 20% of the world's population to stop either smoking,
snorting,
or snorting, drugs, cocaine, whatever, right? He's like, order and control is the best we can hope for. And again, like taking out the whole cartel, there's always going to be the next guy. There's always going to be the next drug. And clearly they have tons of influence in Mexico, and it's bleeding now across the border into America. Like throughout the movie, you see people hanging, beheaded. You have dirty cops, both in America and in Mexico. And I think it's even kind of implied when they do the arrest at the bank. It looks like the manager there. It looks like he's kind of dirty too. He only gives a look, so I could be totally wrong there. But
I had the same feeling too. Though.
The camera work seemed to really focus on that closely, and I feel like that's not by accident. The cinematography and what they decide to show you and what they don't is all very intentional, so I don't think that's there as just filler. I think
there's a reason for it.
For sure, So they make it into Juarez, they go to the courthouse. You get introduced to the score, the Beast there, which really sets the tension,
and your introduction to the Beast being Juarez, and the people hanging with decapitated limb cut off, whatever. So
and the cinematography, like when they first cross over the border, and the camera just slowly zooms out, and you just see Juarez getting Juarez. It's this sprawling concrete jungle of a city, and you can tell they're just going into the thick of it, right? And they're kind of off the map on it. And so they pick up Manuel, or no, Guillermo, from the courthouse. They get him in the car. They start driving back for the border. They're picking up tails.
Yep.
The cops are they're following them, but from a distance, reporting where they are.
Yeah.
They make it across the border. There's a traffic jam. They get stuck. So, which leads to my favorite scene. The cinematography is deadly because it keeps switching back and forth between Kate and Alejandro's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Kate's point of view, very wide shots. You see numerous cars in the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's really focused. It's very chaotic. You're overwhelmed just by the surroundings, and flashes over to Alejandro and then pans again. It's focused on one car.
Mm-hmm.
Who's in the car? The cartel.
Yes.
And he clocks it immediately. He's going, we got 3-4 guys in this car with guns. They catch the other one. So once showing the Delta operators and Alejandro, they're seeing what needs to happen or seeing what's actually going on. Whereas Kate's very much overwhelmed. She's still like, okay, what the hell are we doing here?
Oh, exactly. And
a little bit of foreshadowing when they're at the courthouse. Alejandro goes
if anything's gonna happen, it's gonna happen at the border.
Yeah. So,
and I mean, the whole time they're in the vehicles at the border, it seems like everybody's calm and collected.
Yeah.
Sure, Alejandro there's a tiny bit of concern there because he's just on the lookout, but he's still calm. Kate, on the other hand, you can tell she's sweating, the way she's looking, her face, she's
swearing after that.
She's scared, and obviously don't blame her.
It's fairly claustrophobic. And just keeps going back and forth where they can't really do anything unless the cartel, don't get out of the car unless they get out of the car, and you're not allowed to shoot unless you're engaged, kind of thing. So it gets left to the last moment, even when they have him at gunpoint. And they go to turn away, little fake out, so to speak, and then the shootout's over pretty much as quickly as it began. It's not.
Oh, it's quick.
There's nothing in this movie that's prolonged. It's not say the shootout from Heat, where it's a prolonged thing down a huge strip in the financial district of LA. It's the shots are fired and it's over.
It's over.
People aren't really missing. They're very quick. So the suspense boils up to a very quick flash in the pan, so to speak. And so Delta and Alejandro gun down a few different cartel members, and then they're out of there. They don't even stick around, and then you see border security, they're rolling up and they're finding the bodies, and they're like, what happened here? And the people of Mexico are just kind of looking, and they don't seem...
It's like another day.
They don't seem all too bothered about it, and kind of speaks to the covert nature of Graver's operation there. He doesn't need to stick around. He's they're out, and they even say in the briefing, right? They're like, hey, everyone is potentially a threat until we make it back to this room. So don't trust anyone. Mexican cop takes a shot at Kate.
Again, state patrol.
She's proven to be capable because she makes the headshot.
Takes him out quick.
But also clearly rattled, and she's kind of got this is all illegal, or not even sticking around. Still no straight answers. Graver's just telling her we're just rattling cages here and shaking up the cartel. And she's like, hey, you're a spook, and who the hell is Alejandro? And he's just like, he's just a guy. He's here to help, it's almost, I can't tell if it's he doesn't have any answers or ways to lie to her, or he just doesn't care to do so.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Doesn't have the answers.
It's just or is he playing on her curiosity? He knows if he gives her anything, then she's out, versus... Because, the answers he gives are just... They're essentially insulting to her intelligence, really.
Insulting and just meant to confuse sometimes. Well, you're not saying anything.
Disorient. And, just clearly lying to her face. And, oh, he's a DOD advisor just like me. And she's like, he just told me, he worked in Colombia for the cartel. What are you talking about? He's like, I'd like to stay here. I don't know.
And then just throws it back on her. It's like, okay, fine. If you don't want to partake, then...
So, again, whether that... And, again, he does it all in a very jovial kind of nature. He's... Yeah, he's like, oh, things got a little nutty back there.
Yeah, he's
it's been a humdinger of a day, but
I mean, and sure, in those situations, I definitely feel you need to have that humor to be able to manage and just work. Like you can't.
Kind of balances out the movie as far as tone, because I think without that, like Alejandro's not cracking jokes ever. I think he maybe makes one jab at her partner where he's like, "Oh, you're afraid of the dark."
There's just that one, and then that's it.
Kate's not really joking around about anything. No. So yeah, Graver's just not necessarily comic relief, but adds some levity to because this movie exposes you to a lot of heavy material, and I think it's probably the difference between maybe being exhausted and not feeling the best by the end of the movie, like Villeneuve's other movie, Prisoners. By the end of it, you're like, you're pretty down. It's not, I won't say too much, but like, it's not the same vibe as when you hit the end of this movie. And they successfully bring Guillermo back to the U.S. Looks like they're in some kind of
base
back at the airbase, I guess. Conversation between a lawyer and Alejandro.
They know each other.
It looks like they work together in one way or another. And was Alejandro get referred to as the ghost of Medellin or
something like that?
So
because he's like, I haven't seen you in a while. And
and he's kind of. It's the first real hint, like, I'm sorry about what happened to you, and he tells him about the tunnel, and the tunnel gets referred to a lot in the movie, and
eventually
a lot of the movie is them trying to pinpoint where it is and confirm that's actually a viable route through. Again, it alludes more to the lack of legality, where the lawyer's like, okay, like, let's go in the room and talk to this guy, and Alejandro's like, you should probably stay out here. It's better if anything happens that you say you didn't say anything at all, and he walks in with the whole water jug. And again, effective, I guess, indirect storytelling. Shows the drain in the water, and you kind of hear what's going on, so they don't have to show you he's being waterboarded, but it's not really up for question what was actually happening to him, right? Which again, Graver later lies about, where they're like, like he told us about this tunnel, and she goes, like he just told you. He goes, like he didn't have an option. It was either that or some prison where he's going to get killed by cartel or whatever. And again, it's still, at this point, a mystery who Matt works for.
Right. I think it comes up again where Kate goes back to her boss and being like, she's concerned all about the jurisdiction, like what they're doing, if it's legal, and not so much the bigger picture, but just, the rules and procedures, regulations. And then essentially she's told by her boss that she can relax. She's within the framework of what they need to have done. So.
And he says the authority and the decisions being made are being made by people who are elected to office, not appointed. So it speaks to, and he's also saying like, hey, I'm not the guy calling the shots here. He's like, I don't have the authority to send people on private jets. Anywhere, to create joint task forces to go after the cartel. He's like, understand, like, this is out of my control. And he's like, if you have concerns about the legality or like what Matt is doing, rest assured you are in the clear. Which,
exactly.
Again, like, I guess maybe if she, well, it's not legal for one, but it creates kind of a slippery slope because she would probably be protected right up until the moment they needed a scapegoat or something, right? And that's essentially what she is. By the end of it, they explain that the CIA can't operate on U.S. soil without a domesticated agency, as they say, and that is the whole reason Kate's been brought along for this whole thing, and whole reason she's forced to sign whatever form it is at the end, where they say like
everything was legal.
Everything's legal and done by the book, and like it's going to be on your word that everyone else is going to believe you, right?
Which is wild to think of, to have that amount of pressure placed on you if you're ever questioned about the operations.
And again, like, who else did this kind of thing happen to? Jake, when he was framed with the murder, right?
And that's right,
and he's been they're saying like, oh, because you're the new guy and you've never had a shooting, like nobody's going to take a second look at you. So if you say like, hey, you shot this guy in self-defense, nobody's going to think twice. Same thing. Like Kate's this go-getter. She's a straight shooter. If she says this thing is done by the book, then probably everyone's going to believe her. And they're not going to have an issue with it. So another sort of, I guess, indication of the cartel's presence is so they do the bank arrest.
Yes.
So, you know, they know about the tunnel. They're talking to people who have come across the border about this tunnel. They're confirming all this information. They're kind of trying to take a jab at Manuel Diaz there.
Yes.
By first, they need to make an arrest so that they can get the authority to seize all of his accounts and stuff.
Yes.
Right. And so I guess my question for this scene here, I guess maybe what opens up debate or food for thought is this all done so that they can use Kate as bait? Or is it just kind of this is Kate's decision and Matt rolls with it? So because he does tell her don't go in the bank.
And that's why I'm thinking. Again, though, he is a smart guy, and he could literally just be saying that, so he could say, "I told you so." Like, don't. But yeah, I think I want to say that it probably just worked out in his favor. The fact that she went in when she shouldn't have, and then really set herself up for.
Yeah, I do think it. I mean, ultimately, his goal isn't to arrest Manuel or Alarcon. Like his goal is to whack him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whether he's being honest or not, like that's not a prosecutable case.
Yeah.
Who knows, right? Like he might be right. Like it might come down to like, despite whatever case they put together, like Manuel Diaz and eventually Alarcon.
Yeah.
They'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
And it's an issue they don't even know where Alarcon is. He's like, okay, great. Like arrest Manuel Diaz. That doesn't bring us any closer. And he's like, that's our only avenue to him in the first place either. So like we arrest him, we put like, now we got to find someone else. And all of this, we're back at square one. So, you know, he's not telling her the exact reasons, but he's saying like, hey, this isn't prosecutable. So like, don't go in the bank. We're not going after this. Like we're trying to get Manuel called back to Mexico.
Yes.
Like forget the other. She goes, no, like I want to do this by the book. She goes in. She finds, what is it, like a line of credit, and it just has like a positive balance, I guess?
Yeah, and then they're discussing how there's like $17 million and like every day $9,000 put into the account. I guess
somehow that because it's line of credit, like a positive balance against a debt, technically, it doesn't need to be reported. As to how accurate that is.
I don't know, no banker.
Either way, she goes after it, and ultimately lands her in trouble when her and her partner there go to a bar and try to hang out, and her partner actually tries to set her up with
a friend, what he thought was a friend.
It kind of subtly tells you an old time friend too. Like this guy isn't like the new guy on the scene. They're like, oh, we saw you at the softball scene a while ago. Like he's divorced. They thought he was a friend. They're very chummy with each other. Like long time no see. Blah blah blah. So like it also speaks to how deep the cartel's roots are in there, right? And what they must have on this guy to get him
to work with them, really.
Exactly, right? And so and Matt sees it coming. Alejandro is tailing them, so when she's in the apartment, she figures out she's in danger
because she sees a little wristband that he has is the same as what was used to wrap the dirty money.
So and then Alejandro shows up. It's kind of unknown whether the plan was to question her to get to Matt and Alejandro. Alejandro seems to think that's the case. He's going like, that's not a hitman or a Sicario.
He just wanted to know, what do you know?
At the same time, like you're choking the life out of her on the floor. So who knows? Maybe the plan was to question her, and then once she figured out, it's like, hey, that's out the window, and we need to. Either way, Alejandro, they pick him up. Matt's telling her like, hey, like great idea, like bring him back to the apartment. She's like, no, this was not my idea at all. He's like, well, like just put that in your report.
Exactly.
Like, again, it's just super shady, but again, they find a corrupt cop, which in turn, I guess through not the most legal, where they're saying like, hey, this is the difference between like your daughter having federal protection and your ex-wife's address being leaked on the internet. So they're like, hey, we can either protect the people you like, or we can let the cartel get them, which
you know what's gonna happen to them.
As he says, this is where you negotiate and survive, my friend. And this is whether you go to a work camp here or you go to a death camp here. So like the choice is yours. Are you gonna give up the other dirty cops? So like, again, I guess going for positive, good results in the end, but the path to get there is a super murky one. Like super, and
messed up.
A lot of questions.
So the dirty cop is John Bernthal.
Indeed, he is.
And so it's doesn't have much screen time, but it's well done for him.
Dude's in a lot of stuff.
He's in a lot of stuff.
He's one of my favorite actors, but he is like watching random movies and he'll pop up there. Like, let me tell you something.
So from here on, it goes into the tunnel. Like when they find the tunnel, it goes back to showing in the beginning of the movie. It showed a state police officer and his family. About to go take his son to soccer, etc. So it goes back to that individual, shows the cartel loading drugs into the back of his state patrol car, and then it shows our protagonist.
And he's Mexican state police, right?
Yes.
Because it's on the other side of the border.
Yeah.
Looks like some kind of a auto mechanic garage thing.
Which is linked up to the tunnels, and then eventually shows Kate and everybody else linking up at the entrance of one of these tunnels, and it goes into the night scene with the night vision and an infrared, which is pretty neat.
Which they use real cameras.
They use real cameras.
Apparently, they put something in the soles of the boots just to leave a more visible
footprint there. Which is
for the thermal camera.
Neat.
Super cool. The whole idea of this operation is create a large enough distraction that Alejandro can get through undetected, essentially. And then, so they're keeping tabs simultaneously on Manuel Diaz, because the idea is Alejandro is going to intercept him and get him to take him right straight to Alarcón, because that's where he's headed, right? So go into the tunnel at the last minute. Matt gives the rules of engagement, weapons free, kill everyone, and Kate's going like, what the hell? And again, they're trying to keep him out of that thing. We're like, we'll see if we can find you some tack gear. And they're like, well, we got it in the car. I was like, oh, okay, great, And they're like, just stay at the back, don't get in the way.
Don't shoot any.
Again, they're trying to hide what's going on from Kate and her partner there. But again, she's almost too curious for her own good. She says, she's like, I need to know what I've been screwed over for. Like, I want to be there. Because the other guy's like, screw these people. Like, let him go. Because that's the point where it's revealed in the motel where he goes, like CIA can't operate on home soil without a domestic agency. So he goes like, I told you you'd be, he's like, you're not here for the tactical experience. Like, we got Delta guys for that. Like, that's the tip of the spear. And so, it's all sort of revealed in the end. A little detail I did notice. So they're watching Manuel Diaz through the drone footage or satellite footage, whatever it is. And the guy goes, okay, he's like, I need to outfit your guy with a tracker too, which goes by like unnoticed, but he's referring to Alejandro. Because when Alejandro goes across the border, they're tracking him, they're keeping an eye on him, they're giving him intel from a bird's eye view there. So that was something, I noticed a little bit there. And they're just little hints about what the actual plan is and how they're trying to keep him at the back. And the huge diversion. Kate tries to foil Alejandro, who reveals kind of what not a nice guy he he's gonna do his best to not get anybody killed, but if it's gonna come between him and what he's trying to accomplish
he's generous in the sense that when in the tunnel she decides to follow him and catches him with the state patrol officer after taking the officer essentially hostage. She tries to take Alejandro down, like make an arrest. And he's like, nah, it's not happening, and shoots her, but
like immediately too. But he puts it on the plate. Intentionally.
And we assume. We assume. And that holds up Kate. Like, she's catching her breath, so she's out of the game now.
It would knock the
breath
out, and they take off, and he wants to catch Manuel Diaz there, right? So Kate goes back. She's telling Matt Graver, like, she's like, I'm gonna talk, and this is all nonsense. And he explains to her, like, this is where Alejandro is from, and this is why he's doing what he's doing, and this is why we're doing what we're doing. Like, we're trying to restore order, and Alejandro's gonna take out Alarcón for us. And like, Alejandro is almost a scapegoat for the CIA as well, right? Like, he's not tied to any agency or anything, and if something goes wrong in Mexico, the easy story is just, disgruntled, or I shouldn't say disgruntled, but lawyer, tax analyst who was
loses mind,
wronged by the cartel, goes on a revenge mission, right? And
that's easy to say what happened
and cut ties to it. Like, the U.S. wouldn't be found liable for it, but again, kind of depends on Kate, and that's like, hey, like, you should probably go along with this. Like,
it would be a bad idea.
That would be a grave mistake. And then cuts to Alejandro. He catches up to Manuel Diaz.
Does a traffic stop.
Unorthodox traffic stop. Manuel Diaz takes him to Alarcón's compound there. A few more guards get taken out along the way, and then
same with Manuel. He kills. How he gets in essentially kills Manuel just before leaving the car.
Exactly. But and then he gets his sit down with Alarcón, and Alarcón's family is present. And
there's definitely some. At that part, I feel the cartel boss there still thinks he has some kind of power, and he's very cocky, right up until Alejandro.
And then it seems like there's a moment where he goes, okay, like, don't kill me in front of my family.
So he kind of accepts it.
So he goes, okay, like, I think I see what, and he's still wrong. And so in the initial script, I guess it was Alejandro was going to just kill Alarcón in front of his family, and that was going to be it. But they wanted to speak to essentially how far gone because of everything he went through. And he puts Alarcón through the same thing, and he says in Spanish, like, time to meet God.
Oh, which was dead.
And but horrible thing to
so
do.
Horrible.
He kills his two kids and his wife right in front of him.
Which I'll say, that's kind of like, as much as I like Alejandro, the whole thing, and I feel he's a protagonist, that's when he isn't one, because he kills the kids and the wife.
And it probably reveals his character totally. Because through the whole movie, you're going like, okay, he's along for the ride, but he seems like a good guy still. And it turns out, if anybody had gotten in his way anywhere earlier in the film, he probably wouldn't have thought twice about taking him off the board. Like, if Kate forced him to, like, at the very beginning, put him in a corner, like, he'd probably kill Kate. And he even shows it afterwards when he's trying to get her to sign the document. Like, he puts the gun under it. And, he doesn't care.
No.
Like, what does he have to lose? And all of it. So, and then he tries to make Alarcón finish his meal. He's like, by all means, keep eating. And then he kills him, and then, he's out of there. And then, Alarcón's taken out, and CIA kind of regains their perceived control over the drug trade across the border, and Alejandro gets his revenge, and essentially Kate is forced into being compliant to save her own life, essentially, right? And that's kind of what it comes down to, is just survival for everyone. And really, the movie doesn't end anywhere for Kate super different from where it started, other than she's had this sneak peek into kind of how ugly this world is that she's in. And wraps up with the soccer game, and it's somewhere in Mexico.
With the state patrol officer's family from the beginning. So son's playing soccer, and then you hear gunfight in the background, and then they just go back to playing. And
it just
same old.
The reality they have to deal with, right? Like, in Canada, the U.S., like in most places, that would be like, Kate, like, game's over, we're going home, and there it's just like, okay, like the shooting stops.
Yeah.
I guess we're good. Like, keep next period, next quarter, or whatever it is in soccer.
Gotta finish the game.
Like, so but super heavy movie, but super cool. I like it.
Great.
Kate's an unreal protagonist, especially because that's who we, the audience, are sort of seeing everything that's happening through, and the way she's kept in the dark is the same way we're kept in the dark. So very very effective that way. And it just kind of ends on a very sober tone. Like, no problem is really solved.
Nope.
The cartel is still, I mean, Alejandro gets his revenge, but
there's not like a happy ending or anything.
It's not on any sort of moral high ground either. And I'm sure, Matt Graver's probably whistling somewhere like mission accomplished kind of thing. And seems to appear to be a guy who enjoys moving all the pieces and seeing the whole picture, but seems also just like a reliable, like, getting his hands dirty kind of thing on for the sake of the government. Like, he's a spook, like, through and through. Like, a very, as to how that works in the real world or not, there's probably some liberties taken and some fictitious moves taken to increase entertainment, whatever the case may be. But overall, like, through the whole movie, he's pushing his objective, and he's doing what he needs to do to make it happen. Alejandro does what he has to do to make it happen, and Kate's ultimately the one who has to suffer, because
stuck in the middle of it all.
Prior to getting recruited to this joint task force, like, she didn't have a clue, but like probably knew of it, but didn't have any idea like the degree how bad it was, and
like what's it gonna do for her career after the fact? Like, how it's gonna be? Is she gonna trust anything? Is she gonna quit? Like, all that fun stuff.
And like, just because the one dirty cop didn't get her doesn't mean she's off the radar for the cartel still, right? Like, she's gonna be looking over her shoulder the rest of her life.
Alejandro at the end says, like, he recommends moving to a small town essentially and just being off the radar. Like,
very cool movie though. I had a lot of fun doing this one.
It was amazing.
Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. And, it's definitely worth a watch.
Worth multiple watches.
Kind of the wrap up segment here. We have favorite quote, scene, and we're introducing the favorite shot. To the movie. So that's a new one that we haven't done in previous ones, but something kind of thinking of, and watching movies like Heat and Formula One, especially, like, cinematically have a lot of great looking shots, great scenes in there that just pretty to look at. So favorite quote?
My favorite quote. So, I mean, I just want to make an honorable mention. I feel one at the dinner scene there where Alejandro kills the family and he's like, "Time to meet God." I was like, that's
heavy.
That's a heavy one. But it was when Alejandro was speaking to Kate and saying, "Nothing will make sense to your American ears, and you will doubt everything that we do, but in the end you will understand." And I feel that comes to be true, because at the end where Alejandro forces Kate to sign the document saying everything was good, by the book, he leaves, she goes out on the balcony to shoot him, but then can't. And I feel at that moment she's like, kind of understands exactly what just happened here. So
finally understands it after a whole like, it's a synopsis for the whole movie, or at least for Kate's point of view, right? And that's a good one.
Yours?
Mine's probably like on the plane there, like it's the Kate's talking to Alejandro, and like appears like friendly enough at first, but also mysterious, and she's like, "Anything I need to know about the cartel?" And like, bear in mind, she is brand new to all. Like, she has not, prior to that raid on the house in the beginning, has no experience with the cartel. Like, she's never done it, so she's going like, "Oh, here's an expert." Matt's not telling me anything because he's passed out on the couch there on the private jet. He's already lied to me about El Paso. We're actually going to Juarez. So she's going like, "What do I need to know about the cartel?" Like, we're about to go right into the middle of Mexico. He's like, like, you're asking me how a watch works. And he's like, "For now, let's just keep an eye on the time." And she's like, "Great, what do I do with that?" But simultaneously, like, it's for the movie, like, okay, you're trying to understand how this whole system works, which, again, like, if you worry so much about everything that's going on, you're going to miss exactly what's going on in front of you, which is probably far more important. You need to be worrying about that versus trying to understand all of the cartel. He's like, essentially, you're about to get screwed over pretty bad.
Yeah.
Here. He's like, keep your eyes in front of you and
that
kind of thing. But at the same time adds, mystique a bit to his character, and she doesn't quite get what he means by it yet, and kind of introduces him as a thoughtful, intelligent character, and again, he doesn't seem to have a problem with like not really saying anything about anything.
Yeah,
he's there for one reason. So my favorite scene, like I alluded to earlier, border crossing scene, masterclass in tension, super quick shootout. It's brutal. You know, you get to see what Alejandro is capable of. He's not just a guy in a suit, right?
He's got some skills.
He's clearly perceptive. He's experienced. He knows what he's dealing with. Kate's getting exposed to kind of... Because, like, if they just come back across the border with their custody, she's going like, okay, we didn't go to where I thought we were going, but it's a prisoner transfer versus like, okay, they just gunned down like 6-7 cartel members on the border and like bounced, nothing said. And so it kind of sets the tone for like the lack of legality for the movie, and then everything from there on is just like, they can't do that.
So not allowed to do this. I mean, I echo that. Border scene 100% is a favorite scene in this movie. One scene that I always think about anytime somebody talks about the movie is this border scene. So it's just done so well. Visuals, like how quick it, like the tension that's built crossing into Mexico, but then how it's continued being built once they're trying to get out, and you think they're like pretty much made it until they hit traffic, and then all hell breaks loose for a split second, and then they're back off.
And it's the last possible moment too. Like, if anything, there's no other time for anything to happen. Like, you're going through the whole thing, like, okay, what's gonna happen? Finally, like, okay, and then they even say, right, like, okay, traffic's clearing up. Like, if they're gonna make a move, it's gonna be now. And it's like, okay, here we go. Like,
exactly.
And sure enough, like, it goes down. And, I don't know, but that's probably what I would show to anyone if I was trying to
big time
sell this movie or recommend this movie. Your favorite shot cinematically?
So there a couple come to mind. I'll just say two of them. Let's say the border run or the border crossing scene where they're returning, and it kind of pans out to show just how massive the border is, but also the traffic, showing like just the danger that they're about to get themselves into when they get slowed down. So there's that, but also the scene where they're going into the tunnels with the infrared, and one showing it from like the drone, and them going into the tunnel, but also like when it's down to the operators and showing the footsteps going in, and just hearing the noises. So those two I'd say.
Mine's before the tunnel scene. So they're there at the SUVs, getting all kitted up. They're all set. They start walking, and incredible shot. Like, I was kind of just looking at how. So they have the sun setting in the distance. They have the horizon silhouetted, and then all the operators are silhouetted too. And they're clearly heading down into some kind of like a gorge or a valley, whatever you want to call it. So, but because it's all silhouetted, you can't see. So all it is them slowly lowering step by step into essentially the dark and disappearing from vision, which is almost like, if you want to get super metaphorical about it, is like descending into hell, essentially, right? Like, you're watching all these guys and they're just slowly descending down into the dark, and very synonymous. It's a nice parallel for they're descending into like these tunnels, which would be hell for most. Like, you know, the cartels down there, and they don't play nice. And additionally, like, they're heading down into morally like the most questionable part of this whole thing, right? And so, but either way, like, it looked unreal. Like, the sunset is
really
beautiful, and just the way they were able to line up the camera, and you would have to imagine they would have to time that scene perfectly, right?
Yeah.
Like you're waiting for that, and so it was hard to choose. There were a lot of really good shots. Like again, when they're heading into Mexico and it zooms out and you see the enormity of Juarez and them heading into it. I mean, any of like the aerial shots, like even the traffic stop, like the police sirens, and the rest is just completely dark. Like the movie isn't really afraid to not show you everything,
like gritty and realistic.
Which, like again, is kind of like the plot. Like it doesn't tell you everything, and
you kind of have to figure it out yourself.
You need that second watch through to sort of see everything, and that's pretty cool and very confidently directed by Denis there, and very well done. And it's like no wonder like that. Yeah, he's up there as like one of the best directors in the game right now. Like he's right there with like Christopher Nolan. I think Chris probably just because he has a bit longer of a resume, but I think he's still ahead. But still, like it's not going to take much for Denis either to overtake or line up with him, like depending on preference.
Yeah.
And,
exactly. Preference will.
Yeah. Unreal director. Like I love Prisoners. The Dune movies are great. Like they're all good. So.
Can't wait to the third one.
Big fan of this movie. Second movie was cool too.
It
wasn't as.
I guess because you know kind of what to expect.
True. Yeah. And it's a bit less of again, like I guess maybe you can't do it for a sequel where again you keep the audience in the dark because it's not a big mystery anymore.
Yeah.
Who Matt Graver is and what the agenda is and whatnot.
Exactly.
But, it was still a cool film.
Oh, big time.
Third one should be fun too. So.
100%.
Until next time, guys.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Thank you again for being patient with us, and stay tuned for those audition tapes when we drop those. And as always, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe.
Yeah.